Welcome, everybody, back into another episode of Two Fat Guys in a Dream. And, of course, I'm your hostess, the most, Truman the Steam Machine Steen. And, as always, I'm joined by my father, Scott Steen. Scott, how are you doing?
Truman, how are you?
Oh, good. It's excited to be here with all the dreamers, the believers, and even the fat guys. Excited to bring you guys another episode, another talk, kind of finish up our final thoughts on the mindful eating. We're going to preview our next diet. We're going to do a personal health check-in. I'm excited, Scott. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back here with another episode of Two Fat Guys in a Dream.
Yep. As always, every other week, we reveal a brand new diet. We're going to be talking about that here in a little while that you're going to be on for the next fortnight, if you will. So that'll be a good time. We'll talk about our individual results, of course, victories, and not so victories. See, the casino. I'm still trained not to say losers, not to say losses.
What is it? It's the same thing at I think Disney World. I believe everybody's a. Oh shit! I can't remember the name. It's you're not customers. You're a guest. Everybody's a guest until you become a problem. If you ever be called a customer at Disney World, just know that security's coming to take you out.
Is that right?
I learned that from a former Disney World employee. Yes.
Very
so
good.
If you're ever complaining with somebody and they say, "Hey, I need help with this customer," you're in trouble.
I also tell you that nobody's ever died at a Disney property.
Is that just throw them over the gate real quick whenever they're having a heart attack?
I don't know how it works, but there's some way they've done that. That supposedly that's a thing. So anyway,
interesting.
Very good, very good. I see you're back at home. You're no longer in the Dewdrop Inn there in McPherson, Kansas.
Nope. Yes, I am back at home.
I meant to ask you. You said you got stuck there an extra day. How did that happen? Because you were getting up and leaving the next day. Did they text you early in the morning or overnight? How did you know you had to stay?
No, they told us at like 5:00 that we could go home either that night or just leave the next morning. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna leave the next morning.
Right.
Or are you talking about on Wednesday?
Yeah, when you got up and you were supposed to be headed home, and then you, for some reason, were still there.
No, okay, so I did come home on Tuesday, and then I went back out for Wednesday. They had like an end of our time there, kind of like get-together party thing. So we went back out there for that.
You drove home and back 3 hours for one day?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
We're going to be home the next day?
So I came home on Tuesday, spent the night in my own bed.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I went with another coworker back to actually Salina. Then we stayed there that night to have a kind of wrap-up party, sort of, and then come back the next day.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds terrific.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's talk about how you did with that wrap-up party involved and whatnot. I'm sure you took mindful eating as you were there at the wrap party. So how'd you end up doing, bud?
I actually, I did okay. This is a tough week for me to talk about. It's not to talk about. I don't know. So for example, I still weighed in. We weighed in Friday morning as we always do. I weighed in at 267.1. It means I still lost 1.6 pounds. I'm down 17.67% total of my goal. I'm almost 1/5 of the way there. I'm down 1.96% this week. So still, basically the same as last week, if that makes sense. I lost 1.7 last week. I lost 1.6 this week.
Okay.
But, and this is where we're kind of going to talk victories and fails almost. It kind of sucks. I got back on Monday. I got back on Wednesday morning, right? I got back Tuesday night. I weighed in Wednesday morning. And I weighed in at 266.6 on that day, right?
Okay.
And I even worked out that morning. By the time I was leaving, I was at 264.6.
Okay.
So I was in a really good spot. And I was like, hell yeah. And then went out there for that party. And, I think me and T were actually talking about this on our way back from, we got together for Easter today. And talking about how I don't think I gained that much weight at Easter, but I gained weight yesterday. We gained 3 pounds yesterday on Saturday, for context. And thinking back to that Wednesday, I think, and we've talked about this before, I think it's drinking calories again. I think every beer or alcoholic drink you have is going to have 100 to 200 to 300 calories. You're going to be from 1 to 300 calories on basically every alcoholic drink you ever have. There's not many that are under 100 because a shot of just straight liquor is about 95 or 90. And so you
Probably the worst
basically,
you could do would be like a Jack and Coke or something like that, or
yeah, or
uh,
like a super, like a whiskey or amaretto sour. I'm sure it'd be awful. I'm sure that's awful
sure.
for you. It's so much sugar, not a lot of alcohol.
Mojito, anything with simple syrup in is gonna suck.
Yep, yep. But like I normally drink like gin and sodas, which is probably about as good as you can get.
Right.
But all to be said, like, so I actually did all right at dinner. We had this like fancy on this Wednesday night. We had this fancy steak dinner. I only ate like half my steak. Came with a side of pasta. I only ate about a quarter, a third of the pasta. I'd really done all right, but then that night I had an excessive amount of drinks, and so I gained weight. Obviously, I only ended up at 267.1 on Friday. It helps to that it didn't help that I was hungover on Thursday. Made it very hard to work out or do anything. So
Right.
not great. But so I'd say that's my. I think it sucks because that Wednesday night, that meal, cutting back and not eating a ton would have been is probably my victory for the week. Of even if this is a celebratory thing, only eating half that steak. But then that Wednesday night after that, those drinks I had is probably gonna be my fail because I had a couple gin and sodas. I started off there. But then the night gets going, somebody buys a couple shots, then you're like, well, I might try a little Long Island iced tea, I might have a little beer here, and then you. So I'm just not sure. I think as you get older, I think you realize that drinking alcohol just doesn't fit into your health plans very much, and
Oh,
it
it just
sucks.
doesn't.
Yeah. So
There's some conflicting information on maybe one drink a day, one glass of wine, or
yeah, a glass of wine's all
uh,
right or whatever. Yeah.
one brown liquor is the latest one I've seen. That supposedly that's as good as wine, but then
Hmm.
I saw another study said none of it helps.
No,
So
and
yeah,
it's like soda. I can't imagine it ever fitting in. Even if you have a diet soda, that's still probably not great for you. You know what I'm
pretty
saying?
much any diet you're on, the word you have to avoid is excess.
Yes. Right.
No matter
It's
what
true.
you're doing, it's just you can't do it to excess. With
Right.
a very, obviously fruits and vegetables or something, but for the most part, if it tastes good, you can't have much of it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So
just kind of adjusting your mindset. So, all right, very good. All right, it's a fine week, 3.5 pounds down roughly, and being on the road. So,
yeah, right. And so it sucks because I still lost a pound and a half. It's nothing to scoff at, but I glimpsed. I saw 264 on the scale this week, and I'm at
well, and see,
267. You know.
we've debated the relative merits of weighing in every day, and
Right.
you and I both do it, but more than once a day, there's just too many fluctuations. You even see it day to day.
It's true.
You've really got to have a couple, 3 days under your belt to get a good read on where you're at. So,
Yeah. And
I think that's one of the drawbacks to weighing in. You're like, well, maybe it affected a decision to have another drink or two because I'm already at 264. How bad could it be?
right. Yeah, and
So,
I'd probably put too much merit on that. Like today, I weighed in. I was at like this morning. So again, I told you I had those drinks with friends last night. On
right.
Saturday night for context. And so I had a couple beers and a couple gin and sodas when we were going to eat a small dinner, and we ate that small dinner, but then we went somewhere else and had pizza and stuff. So through that day, I was like, man, I gained 3 pounds. I was like, shit. So like this morning, I was reactionary. I got up and I worked out a bunch, and now I tried to cut back and not eat too much for Easter and things like that. And then so that's it's not good. It's good in that it probably helped me get back on track. I probably lost weight today. I'll probably wake up closer to my goal, and then I'll be caught up by Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, and be able to cut
Right.
back. But at the same time, you shouldn't. You should be able to still live your life, and that if I'm emphasizing too much every day is that I think with most weight loss and diet things, you end up walking. Sometimes you find yourself walking this fine line of what is an eating disorder or what is an
Sure.
unhealthy way to think about food. And if I wake up and I say, shit, I gained 3 pounds yesterday, I need to not eat a lot today. That's there's a healthy way to look at it. There's an unhealthy way to look at it. And if you're beating yourself up about it, you're thinking negatively about yourself, you feel like less of a person that day because you did that. Obviously that's on the negative side. But if you just say, hey, maybe I shouldn't have that second slice of pizza today because of that, that's not a
Yeah.
terrible way to think of that. So I
Extra,
think I'm
extra
walking a fine
motivation.
line weighing myself every day.
I don't even, yeah, I don't even know that it's that fine of a line. If you say, you know what, I weigh a little more today than I thought I would. I'm going to cut back, make sure I get my workout in. I was going to have a soda, but maybe I'm not, or whatever.
Right.
There's a lot of chasm between waking up and going, well, I weighed too much today. I'm not eating anything.
Right. Or I'm going to go throw up or something. Yeah. Right.
Right. There's a big gulf between I'm going to eat 16 instead of 1,800 calories and I'm eating nothing.
Right. Absolutely.
So I think I think we have dodged the eating disorder bullet successfully.
Yeah. Right.
I think we have, we're on the road to recovery. And this is, of course, not to make light of anybody who has had those sort of issues, but I just kind of want to pump the brakes there a little bit on, and you can't get obsessed with it. And that in and of itself, you can weigh 3-4 times a day, and that's a kind of down a different road. You're just sort of being obsessive about where you're at on the scale, and again, you can't take any. There's no accuracy in weighing 3 hours later.
No.
Now, if you get on your scale, if you have a digital scale, there's about a 95% chance that you weigh 10 minutes later, you're going to weigh different than you did.
Or
You're gonna
or
be 2
like
tenths off or whatever.
I know, like for my scale, it almost feels like sometimes it fixates on a number where it's like, oh, I weighed.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I can't reweigh on mine unless I wait for a long time.
Right, because
You
I'll have it where
I
I'll
can't
weigh it.
hop back on and go, what now? Because it's always the same.
Right, I can weigh it like 6 a.m., go work out, and then eat a breakfast, and somehow at 7:30 or 8 a.m., I'll still weigh the same weight according to that scale. I'm like, okay, that can't possibly be right. I have to either be heavier or lighter. There's no way I ended up at
Yep.
the exact weight, the exact same weight to the 10th of the pound.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
that was my week. How did your week go, Scott?
It was good. How much did I end up losing?
You ended up, so Scott, you weighed in this week at 316.6. Means that you lost 1.2 pounds from your 317.8. Means your total loss is up to 11.87%, and your week loss is at 0.91%.
Well, here's why I'm not upset about that because, as I told you, I award myself a cheat day every time I hit three-round milestones. Well, I actually waited to hit 4 to time it out with a day off that your mom had, and she wanted to have Italian, and luckily it did. It worked out that way. So we had Italian on Friday with desserts and everything like that. So it cost me 3 pounds. I put on 3.2 pounds that
Yeah,
one day.
right.
So to get back to a negative number, I'm totally fine with that. If I can
Mm-hmm.
lose more than a pound in a week that I have a cheat day, I'm completely cool with that.
Right.
So I think that's my win. My loss this week, Truman, is I'd become complacent about. I will still have a few chips with the meals
Sure.
on
Sure.
occasion, and
I saw you had a couple chips today. Yeah.
I'd become complacent about weighing them. So I
Mm.
decided to weigh the bag in the morning and write down what I thought I had eaten during the day, and then weigh the bag at the end of the night, see how my guess was. And what I found out was my guess was not good,
Oh.
not good at all. So I had been underestimating the amount of chips that I'd been eating. So I made that adjustment. So it actually kind of turned into a good thing, but it was driven by a bad thing, and that's you write down your food, and God damn it, you just don't want to fucking weigh everything. Yeah, it looks like about an ounce, but then you don't count those couple chips you grab beforehand, or a couple you grabbed as you're closing up the bag. Maybe you walked by and you grabbed the chip. So, yeah, that was eye opening, and it kind of going to reinforce the discipline about the very few bad things that I do eat. I have to be accurate and when I write them down. So,
I think it would be interesting for everybody to go and try and weigh how much you think food is, because I think you look at the serving size and it says, about 11 chips is, but it's 1 ounce. And then you go, okay, about 11 chips. You're counting out chips. You go, that's a half chip. That's a double chip. Not. But
Right.
I think it would be interesting for everybody to grab the normal amount of chips you're going to eat and weigh
Mhm.
that just so you
Yep.
say, okay, I am normally eating 2 servings of chips. And I've
See,
actually,
that's
oh,
what I do as I start. And I go, well, there's 1 ounces, so I can be able to cite that out.
right.
But you kind of fade as time goes on, and you get away
Hmm.
from doing it in habit. So sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I've noticed, like for myself, in a weird thing, I know that 1 serving of Cheez-Its is pretty good, and it makes I still feel all right. But I've
Hmm.
noticed if I actually eat 2 servings of Cheez-Its, I get like a shitty, like almost like a acid reflux of sorts. I don't know
Hmm.
what it is about like the greasy cheese crackers, or I don't know what it is about the Cheez-Its that make it happen. But yeah,
Right.
if I eat, like, I think like 14 Cheez-Its or 28 Cheez-Its is a serving, and if I eat like double that, I feel shitty. So
Nice thing about cheese is they're all uniform. You don't
that
have
is
to
true.
guess.
Yeah. Right.
So it's one square is a one cheese it. So
Yeah.
yeah, very good. All right. So there you go. That's some again, people are like, well, you can't have chips or you can't do this. And we're trying to show this can be done slowly and without a lot of maximum impact.
Absolutely.
Could we both have more discipline and have no enjoyment out of what we're doing and lose more weight? 100%.
Yeah.
Uh,
I could have not went out and had drinks. I could have canceled on that party. I could have stayed home,
right.
ate saltines and soup, and probably could be knocking on the door 362 this week.
Sure.
Instead, I went out. I put back on some of the weight, but I had a good time. I enjoyed myself. I went out with coworkers. I went out with my friends this weekend, and I'm not going to be under 360 by next week, and that's fine.
It's like when somebody speeds past you and then you both pull up next to each other at the red light.
Yeah,
You're all going to get there at the same time. Just everybody relax. We're gonna get there. We're just another week down of building good habits. Just
absolutely.
building good weeks on top of good weeks. We haven't had a positive week yet. As far as weight gain goes,
Yeah,
nothing like that. So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. So,
Don't.
pretty much time.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna, don't make mountains out of molehills. Out of everything that we've done, you've talked about the chips. We talked about this. You've lost over 15 pounds since the show has started. Absolutely, absolutely great job. Absolutely. I mean, 6 weeks, 15 pounds. A month and a half, 15 pounds. I mean, that's an insane. And I'm right there with you. I'm at 14.4. So I mean, it's just all this to say. We sit here, we talk about these things that we do every week. We still lost 15 pounds. Essentially, each lost 15 pounds, over 15, just under 15, in a month and a half. So just
Double bowling bag, Truman.
absolutely,
We've
yeah.
lost a double bag of 15-pound balls.
Hold on, I got a ball around here somewhere. Here, let me
Hmm.
find it for you. Hold on, I got one right here.
This is for all of you that have forgotten what a bowling ball looks like.
Yeah. Hold on, it's there you go. Yep, that's 15-pound ball right there. All right. Yeah, we lost one of these.
Two of those.
That's what
We've
a
each
bowling
lost
ball looks
one.
like. In case you guys have thought
Yeah.
about it, right there. Just that's gone now. Two bowling
It's,
balls.
yeah. So if you start to feel depressed about your slow results or something like that, do something like that.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Absolutely. I mean, this is an insane feeling this in my hand. This is it. I can't believe I was this much heavier. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Carry that around.
yes.
If you want to feel like you're not getting healthier and your body's the same, carry around a bowling ball if you've lost 15 pounds. Carry around a bowling ball for a day and see if you feel better.
This show has done this.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
There it is.
This is it.
There it is.
This 30 pounds. This total show has.
You know what your next investment has to be, Truman?
What was that?
Curling stone.
Oh,
You know how
how
much
heavy is a
cur- you-
curling stone?
Do you know?
I know it's a standard weight. I know it's like. No, sorry. I know it has to be cut from the Blarney stone, right? Or
No, it's a different. No,
okay,
it is a specific place.
in
I
like
think it's
Ireland or.
a quarry in Scotland where they
Oh,
actually
okay, all right.
mine them. But 44 pounds.
Oh wow, yeah.
It cannot be greater than 44 pounds.
Okay.
I'm assuming everybody wants the full weight when you're not
No less than 38.
no less
Not
than
greater
38.
than 44. No less than 38.
Yeah. So
That's our next sports goal.
Yeah, that's our next sport. That's our next sports goal.
Yeah.
Is the we're gonna lose a curling stone.
Yep. All right.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, how much? I was trying to figure out how many stone we've lost. How much? You know how much a stone is?
Oh God, I know it's something. It's like 2. I want to say it's like 2.1, but I don't. I don't know how much is a
one stone is 14 pounds.
Oh wow! So that wasn't even close.
We have lost 2 stone.
2 stone apiece.
That does not sound as impressive as 30 pounds we've lost.
No, yeah, right. I like that's why again I like American units. I like moon units. Here we could go. Here we go. We could go. Pounds to grams. Here that'll make it sound really impressive. Yeah, this show has lost 30.1 grams. We have lost 13,653 grams. We're doing great, Scott.
There you go. That's very impressive. I'm gonna have a cheat day. All right. Yeah. So it's time for the big reveal. The next 2 weeks of your life will be dedicated to.
Wait. Well, do we want to wrap up the last one?
Oh yeah.
I love to leave people on the edge of their seat. Absolutely.
That's right. Sorry. Okay, so you were doing mindful eating.
Yes.
Some of this we've already talked about. The cost is probably going to be one of the more reasonable ones because it's basically you're not changing anything.
Yeah, on a scale of 9 of 1 to 10, I actually put this one at a 9 because you can probably spend less money. Like for example, I went to McDonald's, and while typically with McDonald's meal I might have got a meal and gotten a quarter pounder meal, it's probably like $9 to $10. It's insane if you actually look at the price of McDonald's meals right now. I feel old saying that. I feel like a no offense, but a boomer saying that. Are you a boomer or are you Gen X?
I think it depends on what you look at. I'm a young boomer or an old Gen X, one of the two.
Fair enough. All right. I'm like the youngest millennial or the oldest Zoomer. I think I'm a Zoomer technically. But for example, so I went to McDonald's, instead of getting the quarter pounder meal, I just got 1 McChicken and 1 McDouble. I ate one sandwich, sat there for a minute, and then ate the other sandwich. So it was cheaper than probably getting the quarter pounder meal that I normally get. So I'd say it's actually a little cheaper because I think you end up wanting less food. I do think that is true.
All right, very good. Something that you could do forever.
Yeah, ease wise, I ranked it 7 out of 10. Okay. I would say, which is how I ranked Mediterranean actually a little easier, and I ranked keto out of 7 as well. I would say, and I don't know if that actually makes it. I think keto should actually probably be a 6, honestly. I'm gonna change that on my rankings now that I've got that there. But I would put this ease wise at a 7 because it is. You will have people ask you what's going on during your meal, and also sometimes you simply don't have 30 minutes to eat a meal.
It sounds like it's a terrific plan for a controlled environment.
Yes, if I would have been in my office environment, it'd be great. Where I was sitting I can eat lunch at my desk. I could have eaten 10 minutes worth of lunch, set the fork down, sat there and worked 5 minutes, eaten 10 more minutes of lunch. But when you're sitting there on break and you're like, okay, we've got 30 minutes of break, or like I would go to lunch and we have an hour of lunch, but you're totally worn out. You want to take a nap. You want to use the bathroom. You don't want to spend 30 minutes. You want to spend half your lunch eating the lunch. You want to spend half your lunch sleeping, 15 minutes of it, 10 minutes of it using the bathroom, and then 10 minutes of it eating, and then 10 minutes getting back and ready. So,
well, you just need to sleep in the bathroom.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I need to start. Yeah. Something. But so I think ease-wise, I'm going to put it at a 7. It's not the easiest thing I've had, but it's pretty easy. And the last one was body feel. I would say my body feel is about what it was. I put it at a 7 out of 10. I would say I am getting full faster. I do feel that where I go, my body goes, whoa, we're done. Okay. Hey, let's calm down here. But at the same time, I don't feel like cleaner because of it, or I don't feel better because of it. But I also don't feel worse. So I've also started to add like lessons learned for each of these diets. So during keto, we learned fat is not bad, carbs are bad, and sugar is bad. Specifically, sugar is bad. In the Mediterranean, we learned that if you're going to have carbs, there should be whole grain carbs, And red meat is not good for you either. This is what we learned in the Mediterranean diet. And I would say during mindful eating, if you slow down, you will eat less food. That's my lessons learned. And I think that's absolutely something you should take through. And so all this is, at the end of these diet reviews, we're going to be able to make the diet, the two fat guys in a dream diet, the dream diet as we call it. But
Franken diet.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, hey, shout out a real one, yeah. So for the mindful eating, if you slow down, you'll eat less food. Yeah, it ranks it so overall a 9 for cost, a 6 for results, a 7 for ease. Oh yeah, it was a 6 for results. We lost less than we did on Mediterranean and less than we did on keto, but still lost 3.1 pounds over 2 weeks, which
And
is still
again,
pretty good.
you're on the road. You're out of your workout routine. You're having extra meals. You're having events and things like that. So
Absolutely.
again, I still think almost 3.5 pounds on the road in 2 weeks is good. And this is
Yeah.
from somebody who spent again a ton of time on the road.
Yeah. Actually, and so I think with that in mind, I think I'm actually going to move the results. Even though it was less than the Mediterranean, I'm actually going to move it even with the Mediterranean. I think the Mediterranean I lost like 4.1 pounds, but I had the benefit of being able to do 800 to 1,000 calorie workouts every day. When I was on the road, I was able to do about half my workouts, and they were only like 600 to 800 calories. So I'm actually going to move the results to the same. So that actually ties the Mediterranean and mindful eating at both those categories, average out to 7.5 for all the categories. Keto averages out to a 7 just because of how uneasy it was, or how hard it was, and how expensive it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The first two plans, as well as the one I'm on, there's one thing that pretty much sums it up, and that is processed food is the devil.
Absolutely. Yes.
Stop eating processed food.
Yeah.
There's a real good motto about any kind of an eating plan. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it.
Absolutely.
If you're looking at the ingredients and you got to struggle for pronunciations, put it down.
Yeah.
So,
right.
All right. Very good. All right. So that closes the book on me on mindful eating.
Absolutely. So now we can finally get to what we've all been waiting for here, what we've been alluding to. Our next diet for the next 2 weeks is actually going to be, finally, intermittent fasting.
There you go.
So that's where we talked about I was going to do that while I was out of town. Then I got there and I realized how impossible that was going to be just because I couldn't control my eating schedule. We talked about when I was able to eat, I was eating on a schedule every day, and that didn't really lean itself to intermittent fasting. So we will now be doing intermittent fasting. And Scott, intermittent fasting was invented. It was an ancient tradition. Obviously, people have been fasting for mostly religious reasons for a long time.
Right.
We talk. Was it Ramadan? They fast.
Ramadan,
Passover.
Sunrise to sundown for Ramadan, right?
Which is crazy. That's, man. When the sun is up, you can't eat. That's.
I think that holiday should be in December when the days are really short.
Yeah, that would be nice, right?
I think that'd be the better time for Ramadan.
There's something with Passover, right? You can't eat certain stuff during Passover, or can't.
I don't know. I don't know.
I wish I wish I knew better. Listen,
I think I think there's a certain Passover meal that you have, and there's definitely some culinary traditions involved in Passover that I'm just not aware of.
Right. But therapeutic intermittent fast for the treatment of obesity have been investigated since at least 1915, with a renewed interest in the medical community in the 1960s. After Dr. Bloom and his colleagues published an enthusiastic report talking about intermittent fast or short-term starvation periods range from 1 to 14 days in these early studies.
What's the theory behind it, Truman? Does your body start burning fat at the end of your long period of time? There is that the theory that you're burning excess fat for energy?
I believe that's essentially what it is that the longer that you're hungry, your body starts to eat through the food while you're just
right.
You're
burning stored energy resources, if you will.
Right. The almost the desert island effect, where it starts to eat at the fat that you've got stored away here because it thinks that it needs to keep that, because it needs that energy to keep going throughout the day.
I think that was the most unrealistic thing about that show, Lost, Truman. No matter how long they were there, Hurley stayed fat, and I don't know how he did it.
I think that'd be hard to do, honestly.
Yeah, you've really got to commit, because number one, You're walking everywhere. For starters, you're everywhere you go. You're fucking walking.
It's hot. It's hot too.
Hot. It's hot. That's right. You're probably doing a lot of swimming.
No
Cool
pro-
off.
no
Bathe.
processed foods.
No processed foods. No fat. You're not eating any fat. You're not getting any animal fucking fat.
No. No.
So I don't know how he did it, but it was incredible. He must have been eating nothing but avocados. That's avocados and bananas. That's all I can think of.
Yeah. No. Yes.
So
yeah.
let's talk about this a little bit because I know there's different ways to do it. There's different intervals. So what is the interval that you're going to be doing? How long will you be fasting? How long is your eating window?
So here I'm going to start off with the basic fast, the easiest one. There's a couple different ways you can do it. The basic and the easiest one to start off with is 8 hours eating, 16 hours off.
Okay.
So I even kind of did it today. I didn't eat until like 1:30 p.m. today. Okay. I slept in till 10. I got up and worked out till noon. I showered. We talked over a plan. Then we finally got to eat about 1:30. I stopped eating about 8:30. Actually, and I could have eaten until 9:30. And now I will not eat again until, well, I probably shouldn't eat until, like noon tomorrow, technically.
So yeah, it's easy to do on a day you sleep late, you get up, you shower, you work out, all of that. I'm curious to see how it goes on a day when your day's half over before you can have anything to eat.
Right. Yeah, that will make it a lot harder, honestly.
So will that be the plan? You'll eat your first meal at lunch,
yep,
and then finish up with a late dinner and a snack around 8 or so, and rinse, lather, repeat.
Yes, exactly. It'll be interesting to see. I'm concerned. Here's the thing: is that I intermittent fasted today, essentially, right? I'm only going to eat for 8 hours of the day. I could have certainly eaten over 2,000 calories in that 8 hour window. It wouldn't have been very hard.
Right.
So I think this will be one that I'm also going to track my eating across apps, and probably honestly, again, we talk about adding tools. I've kept some Mediterranean things where I don't try to eat a lot of white enriched flour, and I don't eat a ton of. I try not to, maybe I'll cut out a bun from keto and stuff like that. So it's all these things into our tool belt. Might use a little thoughtful eating on this tool belt too, honestly.
Right.
If you're waiting this long, it's easy to. I know I've had moments where I almost get in like a feeding frenzy. I don't even know how to describe it. I've had mornings I woke up, I'm hungry at 10:30, and I want to eat something, anything, carbs. Oh, I need carbs, and I had a time. 10:30 a.m. We had leftover the Costco mac and cheese that comes in that silver tin. I ate like a third of that thing, just because I was just like hungry, and I was like, I need cheese and carbs, and instead of making myself an egg sandwich and just slowing down, I just instead ate probably 1,000 calories worth of mac and cheese, just because I was like, oh, this is perfect right now, and so. Right. I think I'll have to try to avoid stuff like that. So it'll be hard to make sure that I'm still. So I think I'll use some mindful eating to make sure I'm slowing down when I'm eating those meals. But also, I wonder if maybe we'll do like for this first week, maybe we'll do 8 and 16 kind of thing. And then depending on how that goes, there's things like alternate day fasting or the 5-2 diet, which has become popular, where you're eating 5 days, you eat your normal calories, and then 2 days, you eat like 250 calories or like 500 calories. You eat 25% of your calories, you eat like 500 calories.
Those come back to back?
No, so you would go like on like 2,000, 2,000, 500, 2,000, 2,500, 2,000, and then 2,000. Okay. So 5 and 2. So you'd have and some of those diets you just don't eat on that day. But we've had, things where they're like, you got to eat something. You can't have a whole day where you don't eat. So you have 25% of your daily calories could be another one. So I could go where I eat a whole day, and then I've got like protein shakes. I could have shake for lunch, shake in the middle of the day, shake for dinner, and that's it. And it'll be interesting. We'll see. I'm going to try to challenge myself on this one. I think when I'm back home, I can challenge myself. I can do different things while I'm here. I think we got to give it a go. We got to give it a good try.
I believe Truman has just showed everyone Chekhov's gun. So when it comes to the 5 and 2 plan, we'll see how that works. By the way, Truman, I looked it up on the Johns Hopkins site. You and I were absolutely correct about how intermittent fasting burns calories. Body exhausted sugar stores and starts burning fat. It's called metabolic switching.
Hmm.
So there you go.
I got you. No ketosis needed, huh?
No,
To start burning through
no.
that fat once you do
Someone
that
eats 3
sugar.
meals a day plus snacks, and they're not exercising, then every time they eat, they're running on those calories and not burning the fat stores.
Interesting.
Intermittent fasting works by prolonging the period when your body has burned through the calories and consumed during your last meal and begins burning fat. So we were
That's what
exactly
I
our
think I
wild ass
was.
guess was correct.
I think I was seeing that on. I don't know, I keep getting pushed some like I think it's a long ad, but I think it's for like a diet supplement. But it's like, oh, like you think I get shredded like this because I work out 5 times a day or do all this stuff? No, I love to eat pizza and pasta and all this stuff because I never had a carb. I think it's all to have you eat a diet supplement. But they do mention that when you work out, you do burn through those calories, but your next meal immediately replaces whatever calories you ate. So it's like
Okay.
so something similar to that. So I could imagine that it's the same kind of thing. So
There you go. All right, that should be fun. I'm curious to see the results.
me too.
And yeah, again, we're working towards the Franken diet. You and I are going to put it together. We're going to write the book. We're going to sell 1,000,000 copies. We're going to be the next diet gurus.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
going
we'll
to
be the
book tours and all kinds of shit.
yeah. I was gonna say I almost and again we're not gonna be this, but I almost said Jared from Subway, and I was like, wait, no, we won't, no,
He's been
no,
rightfully canceled.
yes,
He'll not
yes,
be
that was yeah,
Jared from Subway.
yeah,
So,
and he's stayed away, thank God. So, all right,
all right,
so there you go.
very good. Any final thoughts?
Do we get it all? Personal health review. We both lost
Yeah.
weight. 2 bowling
Yeah.
balls. I made sure to pull the bowling balls out. I had mindful eating is good. You guys should all try it, but it is hard in a social context. Sometimes if you get social anxiety, it's going to be hard to do mindful eating if you're eating a lot of meals with other people. And then intermittent fasting. We're gonna starve ourselves. We're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna starve ourselves healthily.
Right.
So,
Right. Now,
uh,
can you drink outside that window?
can I see? I wonder. I'm gonna read into it because I wonder if like like if I was really hungry, could I have like a glass of milk? Could I have 100 calories worth of milk? Is there could I do 10% of my calories outside of that 12-hour window, and then just do 90% of my calories in that window? I'm gonna look into it.
All right. I was going to.
Oh, are you pulling it up? Are you gonna check? You gonna see if there's
Look and see. Generally
I,
speaking, you don't eat any food at all and only drink beverages with very few calories, such as water or unsweetened coffee and tea without milk.
gotcha. So
There you
no.
go.
So no milk.
So so at 8 o'clock at night when you're bowling, you have to cut the beers off.
I actually call me lame. I don't it's almost how I feel about golf too. I don't drink while I bowl. It's not that I am worried about bowling worse. It's just it is I guess it's a little bit that I'm worried about bowling worse, but it's also I have to drive home and I'm not going to
Yeah,
we've
long
talked about
ass
this
drive.
before. I don't enjoy one beer. I enjoy drinking in excess. I do. When I drink, I enjoy drinking in excess. I don't enjoy having 1 or 2 beers. I just don't. So,
I'm the same way.
yep.
I'm the
It's
same
a
way. Oh,
hereditary thing, So,
all right, sir. Well, that sounds fun, and yeah, I'm still on my step regimen. We went to the park yesterday, got some steps in,
mhm.
so we're gonna keep that up and keep working towards a more full exercise regime. So,
Absolutely. Real quick, socials. Hey, you want to check us out? We tweet out. I tweet out mostly dumb stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you. I tweet out a lot of dumb jokes. I tweet out sometimes political stuff. So if you don't, it's fine. But I do tweet out sometimes. I talk through show stuff we've done, or I talk about unhealthy things. I also do a couple other shows. I'll tweet those out too. So Twitter, TikTok at Steam Machine. Scott's Twitter over there at Steenroller. You can check this YouTube channel if you guys are listening to this on Spotify or iTunes. If you guys want to watch us in video, actually during the entire video, Scott, I had you in the Truman slot and I'm in the Scott slot, so that's really good.
world gone mad.
Really fun for
World
everybody that we get
You didn't
joke
tell
around
everybody
like
where to
this.
go. That's Open Disaster Productions on YouTube.
On
So
YouTube.
you
Yep.
can
Open Disaster Productions.
not only check out this show, but you can check out the variety of entertaining offerings that Truman does each and every week. So
That's right. We do Grub Buds on Monday. We're drinking the new Apple Slices seltzer pack from Bud Light tomorrow. So that's good. That's really be real
you drink
fun.
a lot of seltzer. You guys drink a lot of seltzer on that show.
Hey, we try all the packs so you guys don't have to. And we'll talk Dom this year. We're talking sports. I don't know what we'll talk. We'll talk probably Chiefs, imagine. We need to get better at planning those episodes. We're doing those a little by the seat of our pants right now. We need to get caught up. So, but I'm back here. I can get caught up. I can get caught up on everything. Really excited. But we appreciate everybody for being here. Hey, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your mom about it, post it on a sign in your yard, rate it, review on the Spotify and Apple apps. We appreciate any way that you guys can help support the show.
Diet plans in there. Let us know what you think ought to be the next diet. Tell us what the great diet that's worked for you that you've seen and friends had results. Whatever, we're open to any and all suggestions. And like we did last week, if it's something that we're not going to necessarily do right away, we'll still talk about the merits of it and the pros and cons. So there you go.
Absolutely. And, there's not 1,000 people watching this show. A lot of these people know us personally. If you guys have our numbers, you can probably text us about the show. We'd love to hear how you guys are doing, what you guys think of it. Give us your feedback. I love hearing from that. I've heard a lot of people talk about that they really enjoy this show, and I really appreciate that.
Shoot me a text. Ain't going to boost us in Google search. Put it in the fucking comment section. Share it with yourself. I don't care. Just share it with yourself.
Absolutely.
There's some goddamn numbers out there. All right, come on. We're doing our part. We're here working our asses off almost 9 or 10 days out of the 2-week period. So yeah, you guys could do a little work too.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. If you're on your own journey, wish you nothing but the best. And we'll be back next week, talk results.
Absolutely. We appreciate the believers, the dreamers, and even the fat guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care.
Yeah, see you.